Welcome to Dark Tales, a podcast where we dive deep into the most harrowing true crime stories that have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. Today, we unravel the tragic and heart-wrenching case of Junko Furuta, a 17-year-old girl whose life was cut short in one of the most horrific ways imaginable. This episode contains graphic details of violence, torture, and abuse. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Junko Furuta was born on November 18, 1971, in Misato Saitama Prefecture, Japan. Described by friends and family as a bright, friendly, and diligent student, Junko had a promising future ahead of her. She attended Yashiominami High School and worked part-time at a plastic molding factory after school. Her dreams and aspirations were like those of any teenager, filled with hope and excitement for the future. Junko's life took a dark turn on November 25, 1988, when she was abducted on her way home from work. This abduction would lead to 44 days of unimaginable torment. On that fateful evening, Junko was riding her bike home when she was ambushed by Hiroshi Miyano, a local gang member. Miyano, along with his accomplice, Nobuharu Minato, had been prowling the streets looking for a victim. Using intimidation and threats, they managed to force Junko into an isolated area. Miyano and Minato took Junko to a house in the Iase district of Adachi, Tokyo. This house belonged to Minato's parents, who, shockingly, were aware of Junko's captivity but did nothing to intervene. Over the next 44 days, Junko was subjected to relentless torture. Her captors, which included Miyano, Minato, and two other youths, Joe Ogura and Yasushi Watanabe, inflicted unimaginable suffering on her. The details of her ordeal are difficult to hear, but they are crucial to understanding the extent of her suffering and the brutality of her captors. Junko was repeatedly beaten, starved, and assaulted. She was forced to consume various substances, including her own urine, and endured severe physical abuse, including burns and mutilation. The torment she faced was so severe that her body was unrecognizable by the time her ordeal ended. Despite her repeated pleas for help, the gang threatened anyone who showed signs of intervening, ensuring Junko remained trapped in her living nightmare. The neighbors, although suspicious, never acted, possibly out of fear of retribution from the gang. By early January 1989, Junko's physical condition had deteriorated significantly. On January 4th, after losing a game of mahjong, Miyano took out his frustration on Junko, subjecting her to further torture. This final assault proved fatal, and Junko succumbed to her injuries. The gang, realizing she was dead, stuffed her body into a 55-gallon drum filled with concrete and disposed of her in a vacant lot in Koto, Tokyo. Junko's body was discovered on March 29, 1989, after Miyano and Minato confessed to the crime during a police interrogation for an unrelated gang incident. The discovery shocked the nation and brought to light the unimaginable horrors Junko had endured. The trial of Junko Furuta's murderers drew significant media attention. Hiroshi Miyano, Nobuharu Minato, Joe Ogura, and Yasushi Watanabe were arrested and charged with various crimes, including kidnapping, assault, and murder. Given the brutality of their actions, the sentences handed down were surprisingly lenient. Hiroshi Miyano, the ringleader, was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Nobuharu Minato received 5 to 9 years, Joe Ogura received 8 years, and Yasushi Watanabe received 5 to 7 years. Many felt that justice was not adequately served, as the sentences did not reflect the severity of their crimes. The public outrage was palpable, and the case highlighted significant issues within the Japanese criminal justice system, especially regarding juvenile sentencing. Despite appeals from the prosecution for harsher penalties, the sentences remained relatively light. The aftermath of Junko Furuta's murder left a lasting impact on her family, friends, and the entire nation. Her parents were devastated, and the psychological scars of this tragedy lingered long after the case had closed. Junko Furuta's story has since become a symbol of the need for legal and societal reforms in Japan. Her case has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and discussions aimed at ensuring such a tragedy never happens again. While nothing can undo the pain and suffering she endured, Junko's legacy serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of justice and compassion. Thank you for joining us on this deeply somber episode of Dark Tales. Junko Furuta's story is a painful reminder of the darkest aspects of human nature, but it also underscores the importance of vigilance and the need for systemic change. May her memory inspire us to work towards a world where such horrors are never repeated. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember to hold your loved ones close. This is Dark Tales, signing off. If you or anyone you know is experiencing abuse or needs help, please reach out to local authorities or support organizations. Resources are available, and no one should suffer in silence.